Well, hi there, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Kareth, and I thought I'd just get out the camera and film myself making some breakfast this morning. I was just cooking for me, and so I thought, you know what I want? Some scrambled eggs and some sausage, and that's all. So this is how I make my scrambled egg and sausage breakfast. It's really fast. Oh, and be sure to stick around to the end because I have an update for you about my cookbook. So I've got out my Thrive Life sausage crumbles, which I love. Yeah, does that ever happen to y'all? Because it happens to me all the time. I pour out the oxygen absorber. Anyway, I put like a quarter of a cup into a blender cup, and I just pulsed that really quick in the blender, like just one pulse, boom, because I did not want to take 20 minutes to let these refresh. I wanted to eat like immediately. So I pulsed them in the blender first. And then I just added maybe a quarter of a cup of water, 3 tablespoons of water, something like that. I turned on my heat. And what you want to do is just bring this to a simmer and then cook off that water. And since you pulsed the sausage, it will be nice and refreshed and ready to eat. At that point, it won't be too crunchy like it would be had you not pulsed it first. And I know that does not look appetizing, people, I know that, but trust me on this one, if you will do this, it will taste like you just fried up a pan of sausage on your stove. It really does taste amazing if you use this technique. I had turned on my burner, and at this point in time, it had been maybe 2 minutes. I mean, it comes to a simmer pretty quickly because it's such a small amount of water. And yeah, so that's already at a simmer. And then all you do is simmer this until the liquid cooks off. And that process probably took about 2 minutes or so. Not too long. It does not take too long, I promise. If you're wanting to make this with, let's say, some vegetables instead of just sausage, now is a good time to add those vegetables as well. I mean, if you wanted to do, like, let's say mushrooms, or green bell peppers, red bell peppers, onions, whatever you want to put in with your scrambled eggs, now is a good time to put it in there. Now that liquid has completely evaporated off of the sausage, I'm going to go ahead and add just a small pat of butter. And what this is going to do, it'll almost imitate the oil that comes off of the sausage when you cook fresh sausage. Y'all, it is so good. It's so tasty. Anyway, so yeah, I love adding a pat of butter and just kind of letting that saute away. You'll get a little bit of the crispiness that you would get had you just fried up a fresh thing of sausage. All right, and while that fries, you can get out a little bowl, prepare your scrambled egg mix. Now, of course, if you're going to use fresh eggs, you can just, crack those open and put those in your sausage, but I'm not going to. I'm going to make the equivalent of 2 eggs, which is a quarter of a cup or 4 tablespoons. And the ratio there of eggs to water is 4 tablespoons of eggs. So I've got 6 tablespoons of water going to go in there. And I like to stir these up using a whisk. And that's all it took right there. It was like really quick. Now your eggs are ready. You can season these any way you want to. I didn't do anything. I mean, I have salt and pepper out, but I just thought, you know what? My butter's salted. The sausage has some seasoning in it. Also, I'm going to put a slice of cheese on the top here, and that'll have a little bit of salt. So anyway, I did not add any salt or pepper, but that's up to you. You can if you want to. So that sausage is smelling amazing. It's looking great. And now it's time to just go ahead and add those scrambled eggs. Once they've been on the heat for just a few seconds, you can start to move them around in the pan and scramble those eggs. This does not take long. I had already cut down the temperature on the sausage. So it has been at like a medium low, maybe a 2 out of 10 on my stove for probably at least a minute or 2 at this point. So my pan was not too hot because, when you scramble eggs, you know how they get tough if your temperature's too high because the proteins in the eggs. Anyway, you don't want tough scrambled eggs. You want nice and tender, soft scrambled eggs. So make sure your temperature is at a pretty low temp. And then that's all there is to it. Look, it's already done. Turn off my stove and then get my spoon. I just want to make sure everything is tasting good. You know, you can adjust your seasonings at this point. I put on a slice of Colby Jack, and then I put a lid on there. I did move it off of that burner just because it was plenty hot in that pan. I let it sit for probably 3 minutes just off of the heat. And this is what it looks like. And it's just nice if you don't keep the fresh eggs in your fridge and you really want some scrambled eggs. This is a great way to eat some yummy scrambled eggs with some nice protein, that sausage. Like I said, you can customize it and add other vegetables. You could, you know, turn this into a very fancy breakfast really quickly if you wanted to, if you added some, you know, mushrooms or bell peppers, onions, that kind of thing. All those things are already prepped for you. They're sliced. They're just ready and waiting for you. Doesn't take any longer. It's going to be incredibly delicious. For me, this is a really convenient breakfast because I can use 3 or 4 tablespoons of sausage and I don't have to worry about what am I going to do with the rest of it? Well, it's not going to go bad on me. It's going to sit on my pantry shelf and it's going to be ready and waiting for me whenever I need it. So I love eating like this. It's really just a wonderful way to cut down on food waste in our home. So I'm a huge fan of cooking with freeze-dried food, as well as using it for meals in jars and stuff like that. All right, real quick, while I show you how wonderful this food is when you eat it, I want to give you an update on my cookbook. So, good news is it is practically done. All we have left to do is just little tweaks with the editing and then uploading it to the PayHip site and getting ready to launch it. I'm like really close, guys. I'm hoping to launch it this weekend, so I will put out a video whenever it's ready. I am so excited. And then one of my new consultants asked me a question the other day, and I just appreciated that question so much. So thank you, Jennifer. She said, "Hey, what do you do with the rest of the ingredients after you open the can?" And what I typically do is, if I know I'm going to use up those ingredients pretty quickly, like within a couple, 3 months, then I either leave it in the can it comes in, or I put it in these cute little canisters. If I don't think I'm going to use it all up, then I will put them in a mason jar and I vacuum seal them. I've got a link for the vacuum sealer that I use down in the description box. I love my vacuum sealer, and to me, I just think it preserves the food so well. I tend to do that for all of the fruits. Even if I think I'm going to use them up, I vacuum seal the fruits just because I live in a humid climate and it keeps them super crispy. So I love a vacuum sealer, and that is what I do with the food after I open the can. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you. I hope it's helpful for you to see just kind of how I cook with my freeze-dried ingredients. I hope it inspires you to open up your cans and cook with yours. I pray you have a blessed day. Happy cooking. And until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.